Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to the first video here on my YouTube channel. I am, of course, Official H2, and I'm so glad you could join me today for the very first installment of our adventures on YouTube. My plan for this channel is to do Football Manager videos throughout the year, obviously doing things like saves on YouTube, different experiments, and some fun challenges that you're going to see coming down the road. But I thought the first thing that makes sense is to let you guys know how our save on Twitch has been going. We are managing Dulwich Hamlet, who start in the Vanarama National South, and our goal is to make London pink. Dulwich Hamlet, of course, with the blue and pink colors. We want to take over London and take Dulwich Hamlet as far and as high as we can in the English football pyramid, and hopefully the European pyramid. So my plan for now is to bring you highlights from the save over on Twitch on this channel so that you can watch them after the fact if you aren't able to join the stream. So that'll be kind of the first series, which starts today. Future plans for this channel are going to include Football Manager content. That's what we're going to focus on right now. We're going to do things like saves that are exclusive to YouTube. We are going to do some fun experiments, and I have some really fun challenge ideas that I have. So kind of looking at, the traditional rebuilds that you see all over YouTube, where you take a team and see how you can change their fortunes in a 5-year period. I have some ideas where we do that, but with some twists. So we're definitely going to be bringing a lot of Football Manager content to you guys. So I truly appreciate if you do enjoy this video. Please consider dropping a like, subscribing, leaving your feedback, and basically just staying along for this journey that we're starting on today. So for this first episode here, unfortunately, I had some trouble getting some of my VODs from Twitch downloaded. So for the first season, it's going to be more of me giving you a commentary of what the season was like, what we did, and where we ended up. And then moving forward, my plan is to take highlights from the streams and put them here on YouTube in a short package that you can enjoy after the fact. So without further ado then, let's get into the recap of our first season that we just finished over on Twitch. All right, so because I can't really show you the team that we had, we're going to do things a little differently. So we'll go through basically the beginning of the season, kind of show you the players that were playing for us, and then let you know if there were any moves that we made and how that affected our season, and of course take a look at some highlights along the way. All right, so here we are then taking a look at the previous season that just finished. So the season was the 2021-2022 season, the first season in the game for us once we joined. So we joined Dulwich Hamlet, a team that played in the Vanarama National South League, which is a few tiers below the Premier League. Actually, it's 6 tiers below to be exact. And you can see here we are a professional football team founded in the year 1893, playing with our blue and pink kits at the Champion Hill Stadium in London. Hence the title, London is Pink, ? We're hoping one day to be able to make pink the only color in London to talk about. Our capacity was 3,000. It's a little reduced because this is actually the next season on your screen right now. But as of last year, the season that I'm talking about in this video, our capacity was 3,000, and it was built in 1912, average condition and okay pitch condition. Now, because things have changed since the first season over on Twitch, obviously, I'm just going to show you a few of the players who I think were players that we thought we would build around. So John Luca Levy, currently our captain in game this year, was here in our first season. Ball-winning midfielder, but we play him more as a deep line playmaker because of his 13 passing and 14 vision. So he's someone that was hopefully going to be important for us, but last year he didn't really do that well. He made 39 appearances, but his match rating left a little to be desired, so we expected a little more from him. Giovanni McGregor was definitely one of the key players for us last season. He's only 23 this year, so even younger last year, and he plays as our Mazzala with decent dribbling and first touch, but so good from free kicks and set pieces as well, and just really good determination on him, as well as some good physicals. So he's someone that was key to our season last year, and he made 37 appearances with a 7.26 rating. Of course, up top, Danny Mills, the Dulwich Hamlet striker, who was here before we took over, 6'5", really big physical presence, and last year he did phenomenally for us. 39 appearances, 28 goals and 14 assists at the end of the season. So great job from him. Darren McQueen was on loan with us last year in the season that we're covering right now. This year, of course, in game, he's at his home club, which is Dagon Red, but he was such a beast for us all season long, scoring goals. 37 goals he had in 33 appearances, 7.6 rating, and almost won the Golden Boot, which we'll talk about later. Our center backs were Ronnie Vint, 5'11", but he actually did really well in terms of clearances and headers won, so a very good presence in the back. And when we started the season, Jack Holland was his center back partner. 6'1", a little taller, not as pacey as you'd like, but good heading, good marking, and good positioning. And we would end up bringing in Jamie Bradley Green for free last year, and he made 28 appearances for us with a 7.4 match rating. And Jamie Bradley Green looks like he will be the future of our defense. 6'2", only 22 years old, on a really cheap contract. 15 heading. Positioning leaves a little to be desired, but he did well enough in the previous year. Someone who quickly became a hot topic in our Twitch streams was Andre Blackman. When we took over, we looked at him and thought he would be our main wingback on the left-hand side. I mean, his physicals are decent, good aggression, and pretty good crossing and dribbling for this level. But he ended up really not working out for us. He made only 16 appearances, but his match rating was abysmal. Every time he trained poorly, sometimes getting ratings of 4.45, which I've never seen playing Football Manager. He would kind of tell us that he didn't think he deserved to be singled out for bad training, and that at 31 years old, he's too old and he thinks he's training well enough. So he's someone that really, really irritated us and was terrible. So someone that we looked to bring in last season was this man right here, Ryan Burke. He was on loan with us from Mansfield, and we didn't have to pay them anything. So he made 26 appearances after joining with 8 assists. So good from free kicks and corners, also 7.25 rating, and we ended up using him as our main wingback. So now that you've seen some of the players that we built around, I'll just let you know a few of the signings that we made in the first season. So Jamie Bradley Green, we already talked about, the center back. When we joined, we didn't really have a goalie. Our goalie, Charlie Granger, that was at the club when we took over, left on a free transfer almost instantly. So we hired Jack West Estudi to be our goalkeeper. 6'4" Australian, decent aerial reach and good jumping reach. And he did an okay job for us. Definitely not someone who should be considered a good goalie at this level, but he did a decent enough job. And you'll see him pop up later in the season with probably the wackiest moment of our first season from our Twitch save. Ryan Burke, we just talked about, was on loan from Mansfield with us. We hired Dawid as our backup, a young Polish goalie, never featured for us, but he was just there on loan from Wrexham in case we needed him. And we signed Ben Headley on a free, who didn't really impress, but his natural leadership is something we were looking at. And we thought that he would be a good leader for us, because we might be losing a few leaders after the first season, but he never came to fruition with his performances. And I think that's it for the first season in terms of who we signed. And then who we let go, minimal. Sanchez Ming, someone who never featured for us. Jordan Higgs as well, left on a free. Charlie Granger, the goalkeeper I mentioned, left on a free almost as soon as we joined. And Dion Moore was a young striker we sent out on loan just to generate a bit of a loan fee. And we ended up getting close to £2,000 in loan fees for him. So now that you've seen the ins and outs from our first season, let's take a look at the season as a whole and walk you through the results. Okay, so here we are then, looking back at the first season of the game, which was the 2021-2022 season. What we're going to do is take a look back at how the season went, where we ended the season, and of course, with a few highlights along the way, you'll hopefully get a good idea of what we've kind of been through over on Twitch, and then you'll be nicely set up to keep up with future episodes, which will just be actually highlights from the stream itself. So we started the season well. In preseason, we won 4 and drew 1. Darren McQueen got off to a great start for us, scoring a few goals through the preseason, and he is someone who you will see was really key to bringing us to the level that we are at today. He scored, I think it was 37 league goals in 33 matches for us, and he just had a phenomenal year. In total, he scored 42 actually on the season in 34 starts. So Darren McQueen got off to a great start early on, and he was always going to play up front with his strike partner, Danny Mills, who also had a phenomenal year for us. In the league, he had 28 goals and 14 assists. Overall on the season, he had 30 goals and 16 assists. So both of those players were instrumental in our progression through this league. And again, we ended with a draw, but we started the season okay. We had 2 wins in the first 3 games and 1 loss. Now, Dartford is a team that I will make sure you guys remember, because there's going to be something with them later on. In this match against Dartford, our first loss of the season, it was a 5-2 loss. And look here, Ade Aziz scored a hat-trick against us. And please, please, please remember him. He's actually a free agent right now in the next year, but definitely remember this name, because he will play an important role later on. In the next month, then, we moved to September and started off fairly bland. 2 0-0 draws early on. And then we got into our first trophy match, so the FA Cup second qualifying round, and we beat a much lesser opponent 6-2. And we beat Chelmsford 8-1 in the Vanarama South. So we were flying. McQueen with a hat trick. Of course, everyone was scoring goals and life was good. One thing to note, Michael Timlin, at the time 36-year-old midfielder. Now he's retired, of course. Got a red card for us early in the season, and this was a warning shot as to his disciplinary issues, and he maybe let us down a couple of times with his discipline, lack of discipline later in the season. We move on to October then. Again, a routine win in the FA Cup, third qualifying round, and then we lose to Billericay in the league 1-0. Tight game to lose. I remember we dominated this game, 21 shots to 6, but we ended up losing 1-0 to a 69th minute goal from Nestor Muir. And then we get to Dartford. Now, remember how I told you to remember Ade Aziz? We're in the fourth cup qualifying round for the FA Cup, on our way to make the first round proper, and I think you guessed it by now. I've teased it a few times. In the 82nd minute, none other than Ade Aziz latches onto this pass from Roberts in the midfield, has a clear path in towards our goal, rounds the goalkeeper and finishes nicely. And that was it for us. That is the goal that knocked us out of the FA Cup. And of course, we wanted to make the first round proper, so it was quite disappointing to be knocked out to a team that had already embarrassed us. And so that started to irritate us a little bit. But the rest of the month was good. We recovered well, and we ended up with 2 wins with an overall score of 9-1 in those 2 games. On to November then. Fantastic month. Can't say enough about how we played. 4 wins and a draw. For the other domestic cup that we took part in, which is of course the FA Trophy, we joined the action in the second round, and our first match was against Hungerford, a semi-professional team in the same league as us, and we ended up winning 5-1, but this wasn't as routine as it looks. So in the 32nd minute, off of a throw-in, we end up scoring an own goal. Danny Mills plays it across the box, and Evans taps it into his own net. Unfortunate for them, but we take the lead. It wasn't until the 88th minute when Rusby sent a long ball over the top into Seeger, and he equalized. So late on, Hungerford pulled it back and got on level terms. And then in extra time, we started to take over. Jordan Green in the 91st minute gets onto the end of a beautiful cross from Jazzy Barnum Bob to head it in. Danny Mills stepped up to take a great penalty. 2 minutes later, our goalkeeper Jack West Astudi sent a long ball forward to Mills, who won the header, and Jordan Green was in for his second goal of the game, finished well with his left foot. And Jordan Green again ended up scoring late on, 111th minute, gets onto the end of a cross, and he finished his hat-trick for a great win for us. So even though it was 5-1, you can see that that was a very tough match, and we progressed into the third round of the FA Trophy. The month of December then, 4 wins and 1 loss, a very exciting game against Dorking, which if we take a look here, 43rd minute, Taylor stepped up for Dorking and scores a confident penalty. 3 minutes later, their striker Rutherford passes it back to Taylor, into Rutherford, who splits our defense and finishes nicely. 2-0 Dorking before halftime. We get a goal back in the 73rd. Andrew Seeley-Harris on a yellow, played it back to Ryan Burke, into McGregor, back to Seeley-Harris, and a good finish by him. And then 75th minute, they make it 3-1. Sayer with a pass back to Taylor, into Oldacre, who finishes from the outside of the box with his left foot. 3-1 Dorking. 3 minutes after that, we respond. Jack Holland with a corner into Danny Mills, and at the back post is Darren McQueen. And then they score again, making it 4-2. Oldacre, Taylor, Wheeler turns well and finishes nicely. So 4-2 Dorking with about 12 minutes to go. 2 minutes after that, we score a goal again, which is an own goal, similar to the first goal, but this time they knock it into their net. Such a great effort from us to bring it back to 4-3, but all efforts of a result went away in the 85th minute, where Andrew Seeley-Harris, who was on a yellow already, gets called for a soft foul, in my opinion. It happens right around here. McShane picks up the ball for Dorking, plays it into Gilhooly, I think, and Seeley-Harris just kind of rubs ankles with him, I guess, and is sent off. So a red card for us, and the match ended 4-3, but what an exciting match this was. After that exciting game against Dorking, where we couldn't come back and get the point that we think we deserved, we ended up going undefeated in January. Impeccable month for us. Started off with a 2-1 victory at home against Welling, and then this match here against Slough, it ended up with a 2-0 start for us in the first 20 minutes. They equalized 2-2, but in the 90th minute, we had a free kick. Ryan Burke sends in the cross, and Jamie Bradley Green rises up for the header to get us all 3 points. And the next match, right after we beat Slough, was against Dartford. We ended up scoring first through a Darren McQueen penalty. They equalized. That man again, Ade Aziz, with an assist for Robinson to score in the 30th minute. but we managed in the 90th minute to get all 3 points. Levy in to Alisani, and Timlin with a great through ball into Danny Mills, and the big man scores, getting us all 3 points late in the game. And to finish off the month of January, we beat Altrincham in the FA Trophy 4th round, 1-0. Chike Candy with a 34th minute goal to get that result for us. So we continue in the FA Trophy. And if we look at February, a bit of a rough month for us. We had 4 losses out of the first 6 matches we played. Matches against Billericay, Concord, Eastbourne and Braintree we did win, but we lost to Chelmsford, Hungerford, and got knocked out by Southend in the FA Trophy, a 72nd minute goal from Tom Clifford sending us out. And then St. Albans beat us 2-1. We did score a late goal by Danny Mills in the 89th minute, but we were not able to get anything more from that game. The month of March brought a few good results our way. 3 wins, 2 draws, and a loss. 0-0 to start the month, and then a 4-3 win, a high-scoring game over here. And then Maidstone beat us 4-0, which was a little tough. And then this match against Slough, we were scoring well, 5-3. Danny Mills with 4 goals. And Giovanni McGregor popping up with a rare goal. And this match against Concord was probably the wackiest thing that happened to us all season. So it was kind of a running joke. Our attacking free kicks had our goalkeeper lurking at the near post for some reason. We kept changing it and it just wouldn't save. And Jack Westastudi, our goalkeeper, would just lurk at the post, even though I changed it multiple times. And in the 12th minute, Ryan Burke with a free kick. The goalie spills the rebound, and Jack Westastudi, our Australian goalkeeper, lurking in the box, scores a goal. What a wacky moment in the season. But we end up taking all 3 points, 5-2 against Concord. And if we scroll back down to March here, we finished off with a 0-0 draw against Bath, which was huge because at the time they were the 2nd place team. And then to finish out the season, kind of a mixed bag, but getting results when it mattered, like here against Chippenham, 6-1 was really good because it added to our goal difference, and then drawing the team that was right on our tail all season, a 1-1 draw against Dorking. Goals very close to each other, 31st minute for Chike Candy, 32nd for Jason Pryor. But on the final day, we end up beating Hemel Hempstead 4-1, which resulted in us finishing as champions on 80 points, Dorking keeping it very close, finishing on 77, and they eventually would go through the playoffs and be the 2nd team to get promoted from our division. Braintree unfortunately getting relegated. But what a season for us in our first year in charge, scoring 101 goals for 52 against, for a goal difference that was about 20 goals better than 2nd place. So a very successful season. And if we look at our club honors, we add that coveted first Vanarama National League South Trophy to the cabinet, finishing first. And what a season for us. Final stats then for our loanee, Darren McQueen. He ended up scoring 37 league goals and 5 assists, finishing just shy of the Golden Boot in the league. Rakesh Bingham from Ebbsfleet ended up edging him by 2 or 3 goals, I believe, for the Golden Boot, because they did play a few extra games in the playoffs. So I don't think that was really fair, but he ended up with an enormous goal output for us. And of course, someone who still is at the club with us, Danny Mills, at the time the 30-year-old striker, ending the season with 28 league goals and 14 league assists. Overall, 30 goals and 16 assists. So phenomenal output from those guys. So there you have it, the end of our first season, resulting in promotion. And now we are 2 streams into our 2nd season at Dulwich Hamlet. Of course, highlights from those first 2 streams will be going live on the YouTube channel over the next few days. So make sure, please, to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss any of those new videos that are going to be coming out. Until then, all my Twitch information is in the bio. Feel free to stop by and join us on this journey. And I will be back very soon with some new content for you here on YouTube. Thank you so much if you made it to the end of the video. And until next time, goodbye.